the issues around Nigerian cashew production prospect. Joining me in the studio right now, seated with me, is no other person than Minister Yunusa Gabriel Enameling, who happen to be the national president of Apex or Cashew Farmers of Nigeria. A very good day to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you so much, my brother. Nice coming back here again.
Exactly. Last time you were here, it was all about cashew that we discussed. But based on recent development in Nigerian agricultural sector, particularly food supply chain and the export of some cash crop, we need to re-examine what is really happening in Nigerian cash crop production sector. And cashew is one of them.
Yeah.
And just recently, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came up and said that shea nut butter should be temporarily exportation should stop on it. What is your reaction to that?
It's a welcome development because instead of exporting raw nut, shea nut will now add value because there's going to be a lot of processing done in Nigeria. Don't forget, 95% of the people involved in processing shea nut are women and youth. So you can, and they are always at the macro level. So you can imagine if they begin to process, instead of carrying all the raw nuts to other places and then they make more money and we now lose out. It's a welcome development. But again, I expect a lot of investment in terms of factories to be brought up, or micro factories, maybe rural factory that can be processed manually. It has its own unique, just like you process palm oil, so you process shea nuts too. Maybe federal government want to use this opportunity to attract investors and bring in a lot of machines that can change it. But I think they know better. I wasn't involved when they carried up this decision, but I know that the government will not do something that will go against the people. I am quite sure that so doing, the women who goes to the, shea nut is a wild cash crop that is not planted like cashew. So it is the women that goes to the bush to go and harvest them, and then of course process it naturally. It takes a long time before it begin to produce. So I think they know better why all of this.
If you say, sorry for cutting, but if you say they know better, but what impact will this have on the women you have mentioned? And it also belongs to the informal sector of the economy. So what impact will it make on them?
First of all, the impact is that they will process more. Instead of selling raw, they will process more and make more money in Nigeria. Because what they have been doing is to gather all the shell nuts and then export them. But because they are processing, they make more money. And then the only challenge that I'm going to have is the naira, the value of the naira.
Exactly.
Which is not anything to go by. Because if you have 100,000 naira today, I mean, you wonder what can I use it for. So it's unfortunate, but this again will give the women work, the youth work, and then they'll be processing. You see them selling it just like they sell granite, on the street. I think again that is the multiplier effect, because as you process, you market it locally. My brother, over 200 million Nigerians. I mean, that's a market on its own. That's a market. That is why you see all of these people, once they finish their product from anywhere, the next point of call is Nigeria, because the market is here. So why should we be exporting what naturally would have benefited us, what naturally would have created jobs, what naturally would have created wealth for Nigerians? So as far as I'm concerned, even if the government, I think again another opportunity is that the government would have asked the foreigners to come in here and establish their processing factory, which of course is a plus to us, and it is the same Nigerians that will be employed.
Although I've had some experts like you and farmers like you also, they are split. There's a division between people who are against and people who are for. For some people, they believe that the 6 months is too much. But in your own view, do you see that 6 months too much, or they should tamper with it and bring it down to 3 months?
I wish I know the plan. Why 6 months? I wish I am there when they were giving this issue of 6 months. Between now and that 6 months, what is their plan? What are they bringing on board? What is going to be placed for the farmers or for the processors to see? I don't know, so I won't be able to tell you that the 6 months is long, is much, or is short. I don't belong to the share nut association or cooperative. I belong to the cashew. Cashew, I can tell you more about that. But if I were there, or if they had invited all of us, all cash crop stakeholders, maybe we would have gotten to know what exactly they're trying to do. But stopping the exportation is a plus for local processors.
Exactly. Let's leave it at that. But let's focus on our discussion
Good.
segment for today. That talking about the cashew. So the last time you were here, between the last time you were here and today,
Yes.
what has been your assessment of that cashew production of Nigeria? Let's have your take
Cashew,
on it.
first of all, I hope you know that cashew matters.
Very well, you understand
Because
that.
it's the diamond from the tree. Number two, cashew being a cash crop stand to even earn more money to Nigerian government more than crude oil. Cashew has three main benefits, which we have not touched at all over the years. What we have been doing is to export raw nut. Other value or products from either cashew apple or cashew nut or from the tree, we have not touched it. Okay? Over the years, what we have been doing is just to export raw nut. Again, how many processing factories do we have in Nigeria? Most of the processing factories we have are not up to, I doubt if they're up to 20. And all of them are not, working in their full capacity. This is as a result of so many things. And cashew business, for you to jump into it, you must be careful. What exactly do I want to come and do? Some people just go in because they want to process the kernel and sell it. But they have forgotten that what will even give them more money is what they throw away, which is the shell nut. And so what we have been doing over the years is that we have been exporting the raw nut. How much have we made so far? Just like you mentioned, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Have we talked about carbon credits?
We'll get to that. Well, just
I'm trying to break it down for you.
Okay.
So, let me just give you a rundown. Cashew, the annual production, they said is about 450,000 metric ton. I don't know where they got their information from, because in some international and local fora, I always ask them and I challenge them, where do you get your information?
Data from?
So I feel something is wrong. But again, this is what we have. The value currently is over $160 million US dollar of exporting just raw nut. This is what comes to the country. Imagine if we are exporting the kernel. Imagine if we are exporting the ethanol. Imagine if we are exporting the cashew nut shell liquid, which a liter is about between $70 and $90. Imagine if we are already catching in from carbon credit. In fact, in Benin Republic, the expert that did the project on carbon credit, today, Benin Republic farmers are making 9% addition. $9, that's 9% addition to whatever they are making from their farms, from just carbon credit that we are not exploiting. But of course, very soon, our cooperative are already in partnership with some organization from Canada, and we just did a test run, and they are coming back. All right, back to it. Who are the major producers of this cashew? You have Kogi, you have Kwara, you have Niger, you have Ogun, you have Enugu, Abia, Benue, Nasarawa, even part of Abuja,
City.
Right? So everywhere you go, you see cashew. Have we taken time to even measure the carbon credit? We see property developer just pulling it off. We're wasting away money. And that is why in our own cooperative, we intend to have our own, what we call cashew estate. Come and see. If you are in anywhere around cashew environment, your life, whatever you breathe in, is pure, is organic, and you are healthy. Okay? Now, go back to what are the opportunities. I bet you if we tap into cashew very well, cashew can produce more than 10 million jobs. When I mean 10 million jobs, from the seedling, right, to the table. And that is what the cooperative stands for. And that is why we want to make sure that the man in Maiduguri should be able to process cashew. The man in Tapgun should be able to process cashew. Are you aware that in Tapgun, cashew grows there? A lot of people don't know. Are you aware that in Bauchi, cashew grows? People don't know. It grows everywhere. So at any point in time, there is something to benefit from it. That is cashew for you. And that is why it is the diamond from the tree. Now, what is government doing about that? So over the years, cashew is still a new emerging cash crop in Nigeria.
Exactly.
But I can assure you that it will, in the next 5-10 years, it's going to be the #1 cash crop. That I can assure you. That one I can assure you. Today it's second after sesame.
Exactly.
Good. Give it the next 10 years. You know why? Because the benefit is enormous. Cashew has over 40 products. And we have a population over 200 million. Now all we need to do is to have it right through policy formulation.
Talking about, so sorry to cut you off, because yesterday I was listening to the president talking about the non-oil sector physical resource, that non-oil sector have been able to contribute more than 30% in just between January and August to the physical resource of the government, talking about the revenue they have been able to earn. And when you talk about the non-oil sector, just like I pointed out in my intro, cashew contributed over 18% to some of the revenue. So are you trying to say that the policy of the government in this instance are also supporting cashew production in Nigeria, or we
don't have a policy here?
Let's have
only succeeded in first draft, which work is still ongoing. Unlike you have policy on cocoa, we don't have on cashew yet. Don't forget, like I said, cashew is an emerging product that people are struggling to understand. I am a cashew master trainer and facilitator. I am on the farm. I understand what is involved. Now, when we talk about policy in terms of cashew, it must be holistic. Bringing in the farmers, bringing in the processors, bringing in the marketers or exporters, bringing in investors, input suppliers, service provider. All of us sit on a round table and discuss. You see, well, in your intro, you said the challenges is part of the aging tree. Cashew does not age. All we lack is proper maintenance because of the economic of production is too high. A cashew can stand up to 100 years and is producing well. And we're working hard in conjunction or partnership with what do you call them now? Research institutions like our CRIN, whose one of these mandate is cashew, so that we can see what we can do to mitigate it. If you go to some parts of Abuja, you see cashew fruiting this year. I know that there are some that fruits twice. They do twice. They come up, they start around October, they start, and then again start the next one in December into February, March. So what can we do? What can the government do? Of course, one of the challenges is lack of funding to our research institution. That is a major problem.
But before we take the issue of funding problem, what are other peculiar issues apart from policy formulation that is lacking, and apart from a bit of moral government support that we need to call it? Because when government support cocoa, when government support cassava, when government support other cash crop in that area in the last 10 years, because I could recall cocoa has been receiving some funding, share not also received some funding in one way from the government, but for cashew, why are we still lacking behind?
Like I said, government is still struggling to understand the sector. And this is because they are not bringing the right people who can explain certain things to them. If what you don't know, you don't know. But once you are taught, you'll be able to analyze it and see, yeah, we can make it here, we cannot make it here. Now, again, one of the challenges, like I said, is economical production, which is affecting the farmers. The season has just passed. Go to the village and ask a farmer, give me 50,000, he doesn't have. You know why? Everything he does it on his own. No support from anywhere. And this is the reason for our cooperative. We want to see how we can begin to support ourselves. We want to see how we can begin to help ourselves. Probably cry to government to see how they can give us some incentive. It is expected that after this harvest, you begin to clean your farms, prune and all of that. Every machine is not subsidized. The fuel we are using is not subsidized. And again, if you don't forget, cashew is mostly in the rural community. And things in the rural, of course, local government in Okukude. That one, let's
no, we have local government.
No, on paper.
Oh no, even on paper we have local government.
When I was growing up, I can tell the difference between local government and today and yesterday.
I won't want us to dive into that.
Okay.
But let's we focus our attention on that aspect of the prospect of this cashew production. I could recall you have been mentioning about cashew crop, cashew cooperative, but there's a department in Ministry of Agriculture that is taking care of cooperative.
Yes.
Is it that they are not carrying people along?
No. The cashew, thank God, I will give it to this government for revamping cooperative society. I will give it to them, especially Honorable Minister of State, who is so interested to see that cooperative bounce back. In other climes, cooperative contributes more than other secular banks, right? And as we speak, cooperative bank is about to also be on fold, where they give single digit to members, and then you can be able to benefit. So this I will give it to them, and this is what warranted or negated the registration of our cooperative. We are less than 6 months, right? But we've been able to reach out to all our members. And what are we doing? They are talking, we are talking with them. You know, in Nigeria, until they see somebody who is very active, nobody, stand up. Like I said, I'm a farmer, a cashew farmer at that. I inherited 12.5. 2, I'm a certified cashew master trainer and facilitator. 3, to crown it up, I'm a journalist, community reporter. So I'm always in the rural community. I understand their challenges. So until we take care of all of this, pointing them one by one, letting them to understand. I remember some staff of NISAT, because any time we come, I was bombarding them, and they said, NISAT and Nigerian Export Promotion Council. And one day they said they are coming to my farm. First of all, when they landed in our town, we had to take Okada because it's not motorable to the farm. That's number one. And the guy like, so this is how you go to farm? I said, yes. When he came and they went around and said, whose farm is this? I said, all the way you were coming, did you see us diverting to another person's farm? This is my farm. Can you see our child? Right before there, he understood our problem. Right before there. He did not need anybody to come and sit. He does not need to sit down in any AC to begin to write what is not. Right before there, all of them understood. And they left. And what happened to their report? Do you understand? Exactly. So once you are involved in a problem, you'll be able to bring out the solution. And that is why it is important, if we are doing anything, especially policy that will affect the people, let every stakeholder be carried along. Exactly.
Well, let's take a look at one of the challenges that most agri professionals or agri farmers normally talk about: post-harvest losses. Do you have such in cashew?
We don't have such in. The only challenge is transportation. Because, for instance, this season, a bag, 80 kg, and once it's still wet, it's very heavy. Moving it from the farm to either market or warehouse is 5,000. So imagine you have 30 bags, multiplied by 5,000 on transportation alone. Does that make sense? No. Why? Because of bad road. I have a truck. As I speak with you today, the truck is bad. Every day I must go to the mechanic. So you can imagine the kind of money you spend in fixing. Imagine our rural roads are good. That's number one. Number two, what we are trying to do is to see that we store them. Now the farmer, because there's no any incentive, he borrows money to maintain the farm. He borrows money to harvest. So he wants to quickly go and sell it so that he can give back the money to the owner. You understand? So we from cashew, the only one that I say we have a challenge is the apple. Cashew apple, because our people are yet to understand it. When you remove the nut, you throw away the apple. But this same apple has a lot, because I do them at home. I do cashew juice. Because I cannot preserve it, I convert it to cashew jam. And that one can even stay for the next 2 years. I do cashew ethanol, cashew brandy locally, and cashew whiskey. So, but most times I stop at jam, because a lot of elderly people use it, they take it. I took it to a doctor. I said, give it to me. I want to take it to NAFDAC to help me analyze it. Dr. Chopper, he had diabetes, and he was like, when I came, give me my, he said, don't Chopper, that this is a practical man, he's alive. I'm not just cooking any story. All right. So this majority of the people in the rural community, this is their sweetener. They use it for pap, they use it for tea, they use it for gari and all of that. So cashew is so we want to see how we can begin to process it. where is our manufacturing? I mean,
the linkage contage.
fabricating.
No. I also understand what you are
Yes.
trying to link, but let's also look at the linkage cottage industry from the rural areas.
Yes.
Before you come to the city centers for all this manufacturing that you want to mention.
Thank you very much. First of all, we don't even have. How do you have a cottage when we don't have machines that will work for you? Don't forget what we do. We pound it locally, and then this sieving cloth, we use it to sieve our own, and then we boil it. This is how we do it locally. But in other places, just a few days ago, I asked a fabricator if he can help me, get. We trained 3 women of our members early this year to go and learn how to process cashew juice. They have gone to learn it, no machine. And when I asked the man how much is one, he said 600,000 naira. So, it's part of the things that I want to put together and present to government. How can you help us to get 1 or 2 so that we can start? Now, this is just I'm talking of the manual processing. While we are not talking of the bigger processing factories, because at the rural community there's no light, right? This is the reality. I'm telling you the reality on ground. As a journalist, my duty is to report.
I understand you
exactly.
But let's also dive into other aspect of cashew production, which shows that actually cashew has a prospect in Nigeria.
Big one.
Particularly with the kind of $1 million that it will be bringing in.
Absolutely.
But on the aspect of participation, youth participation, women participation that you have really mentioned, what are the other issues that surround their participation fully in this production circle?
One of the challenge again is insecurity. I give you some community in my own area from my state. In the last 6 years, they've not visited their community. In the last 6 years, in fact, their houses are no longer standing. So what happens to their farms? Because they're in the rural community, they cannot access their farm because of insecurity. So first of all, insecurity is another challenge that needs to be taken care of. And this should also be part of the policy. We must sit down and talk about it. Those in charge of security should stand up, wake up to their responsibility so that people, now, like I said, from maintenance, farm maintenance, to harvest, to sorting, to bagging, to transportation, all these value chain are occupied by women and youth. And that is why in my place, for instance, if you are traveling and you did not arrange your mode of transportation, you will be stranded because all youth are on the farm. It's safer for them to be in the farm because they will get 10 kg of a bag, a basket. They make 2,000. So if you do 5,000. Good. No, if you make 5, that's 10,000. Good. Some people go with their children so that they can make more money for themselves. Now, after they leave the farm, that's after harvest, they are also at the warehouse to help sort, remove the impurity and all of that, and then sun dry them. They are paid. Then you pack them in jute bag, sewn, and then they are loaded into the truck for transportation to the port, whether Port Harcourt or Lagos port. So these are the value chain that are involved. But this is just for the exportation of raw nut.
Talking about the exportation, we also know that private sectors will have a role to play. But from your own experience, how much of that have come from the private sector? Because we understand that majority of them are on export side. But correct. All the issues you have mentioned, from machine to equipment, the private sector, are they shying away from investing in that aspect of the cashew production?
It's not about shying away from investing. It's about the sustainability of my investment. I want to invest 50,000 naira. I have 50,000 naira. I don't know what will happen to this 50,000 in the next 1 month because of fluctuation of prices of material. I give you an example. I went to buy chainsaw to prune the farm for 75,000 naira. By the time I will go back, it was 285. Who would be involved in such a business?
Someone will say you go for cutlass.
The cutlass, okay, you are talking of cutlass. The last cutlass I bought, the last one, the German one, is 3,500. Today is 12,800. Meanwhile, we have a Jakuta lying down fallow, where we can produce our own. Do you understand? File, just common file to file cutlass. It used to be 300, 150, 200. But this same one is now over 2,000 naira. File. This is the reality. You can go to day market and go and check. This is the reality. What about your protection gears and all of that? So who will want to come and invest this money? Well, okay, a kg of cashew, for example, has at day before yesterday. Currently, a kg of cashew is 154,000 naira.
154,000 naira.
No, a kg, 154 naira.
154 naira, okay.
Okay. A kg of the same, sorry, a kg of raw cashew nut is 1,570 naira. A raw nut. While a processed one, semi-processed one, a kg is between 17 to 20,000 naira. Can you see the disparity? So now you also want to invest in the processing. For example, you have money, you are a private sector. You have issue with transportation. You have issue with electricity. You have issue with payment of workers. You have issue with rate of exchange. You have issue with bank rate. Only you on all of this. Then, okay, you are no longer using the power. You want to shift to diesel. How much of diesel will you use? And that is why you see most people are shying away. This is where the rural cooperative would have played a very, very vital role. Because we will be producing at the rural community and we aggregate for people.
I would like to ask you one question. With the rice farmers approach CBN, cocoa farmers approach CBN, what do you call it? Yam tubers, all these two crop associations have approached CBN.
Yes.
What is hindering cashew farmers?
No, like I said, our cooperative is new.
I'm not even talking about the entire association per se, plus your association and others altogether. What's stopping you guys from approaching CBN? Because CBN has supported full supply chain production in Nigeria. For other Emefiele, we saw them supporting the rice. Currently, although they shy away, but they are using their NISA, their subsidiary, to support farmers. So what's stopping you guys from approaching them?
Cabal. Let me not go there.
Don't go there. Definitely. Just you can simplify the discussion in that regard. What are the challenges? What are the limitations?
When the right people are not given the opportunity, those who claim to be right will go there and then scatter the whole thing. And then they don't give it to the right people. Those who claim to be are not given. If not, the government has a good intention to support cashew. And that is the reason why the cooperative is now putting herself together, getting our documentation proper, and then meet the relevant organization and say, this is who we are. You can go and verify. Simple. Not people who will sit down in Abuja and claim they are cashew processors or cashew farmers, whereas they are not. Not people who are middlemen, who are extorting the farmers and claim that they are cashew farmers. No. So, like you said, I shouldn't go there. I'm not interested in going there. But the truth of the matter is that by the time the cooperative are done, especially once we are able to have our first national cooperative summit, I think we don't forget this year we have International Year of Cooperative.
Exactly.
Good. And then you know the role cooperative plays. And imagine if we do all of this. You don't need to come and call me. All you need to do, because we are monitored, evaluated for compliance by Federal Department of Cooperative. In fact, if you don't give out your bank statement, you can't even do your AGM. That is how strict it is. We are governed by a bylaw, not an association. Okay? So by the time we see all of this together and we come together, as I speak with you, the dominant people in the cashew sector are the farmers. So by the time we bring ourselves together, starting from our own state, into Kwara, into Niger, Benue, Nasarawa, and other states, my brother, the sky will be, in fact, it will be our starting point.
But talking about the sky being your starting point, yes. I know most of our viewers watching us right now, some people will be interested in these cashew businesses.
Yes.
And some people also want to understand the market size. Although you have mentioned a lot of figures, I also did that in my intro, but You are a practitioner. You
Yes.
know more about the market side. So how big and how deep and how profitable is the cashew business?
Cashew is big. The sector is big and wide. It's profitable if you understand the market. And that is why I would advise anybody who wants to go into the business, don't jump into the ocean.
Exactly.
Learn it. Know what exactly do you want. There are some people, I know they approach me. All they want is cashew nut shell, the shell.
For export.
No, they want to extract the oil. That's all. They're not interested because that's where the money is. A liter is between 70 and 90 depending who is buying from you. Dollars. So imagine you have maybe 500 liters. That's what you go home with. Just for extracting the raw nut. I mean the shell.
Sure.
Extracting the liquid. That is what you get. So what exactly do you want to go into that? Or you want to go into the trading of the raw nut? Or you want to go into exporting kernel or packaging kernel to sell it in Nigeria? Because we have the market. You don't need to. If you go to the shelf, you see 17,000 in a bottle. You don't need, you can break it down because it's in volume. Do you want to go into the processing of the apple for other things? Don't forget the liquid, like I said, is used for your paint, anti-rust, your brake fluid, your hydraulic, jet fuel. In fact, shipping line uses it a lot because they use it for painting, and the chemical industries, the pharmaceutical, and so on and so forth. So it's so big. You must understand what exactly you want to go in for. That is the only time you say, okay, because I want to do this, this is what this is my focus. And then, of course, market linkages are there. Just throw in today online and say, I have XYZ ton of cashew nut shell, and see the way they will rush you. Or just say, I have XYZ tonnage of semi-processed kernel. Today, in Canada, US, America, and all of Europe, they are doing away with cow milk for cashew milk because it's more healthy as from the tree, right? And so other things, you can use it for cashew chin-chin, cashew kuli-kuli. A lot of people don't know cashew cooking oil, cashew soup. We're not talking about recipe yet. You know, have you eaten granite soup?
I've eaten granite soup.
Same thing it is to cashew. Have you eaten granite oil? It's the same thing, but the cholesterol is drastically almost zero.
So, but as we go on this show right now, but because of looking at aspect of economic diversification that the federal government have taken,
Yes.
from the Buhari era, late President Buhari era, down to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that is currently on its own. Economic diversification has become one of the paths the government have been taking. But from what you have said so far, it seems that there's still a bit of limitation on the aspect of cashew as one of our pathway for economic diversification. But if you have to advise the government right now, what will you tell them about using cashew as one of our frontline agro product for economic diversification?
First of all, I will advise the government first to subsidize cashew production. When I mean cashew production, I'm talking about its entirety, from the input to infrastructure. They need to subsidize it. Number two, the federal government should please pick some few young, brilliant guys to go to China or India to be trained on cashew processing machines.
I mean the fabrication.
Fabrication, so that they can come back home and begin to multiply. It's just like train the trainer. Okay? Three, they should support the cashew industry with fund, incentive. Just like they did for rice, they did for cocoa, they did for this. They should also support with the genuine people that you can hold accountable. You give me money to do, I know people who I'm going to give. I will go, I'm from the
They won't see it as national cake.
No. They will not, because they believe in you. They know you have a farm. It's just like, don't tell the man that go and bring collateral. Your house, the collateral you're bringing should be a house in Abuja or in Lagos or in Port Harcourt. The man lives in the rural community.
Exactly.
So tell him that your collateral is your farm. The man will never want anything to happen to his farm. And his neighbor left, right, back, and center, and his gago or chief or madaki knows him. If nothing happens, just tell him you are going to take over your farm till you pay your loan and see whether they will not be up and doing. So one challenge is that our people, or especially the financial institutions, are not in tune with reality. And that is why all of this is happening. Okay, you go to the rural community. You don't see any bank apart from the coming of POS, which is helpful.
Mr. Yunusa,
Yes.
as you said, you need government support.
No doubt.
Credit and the rest
there is
of
no.
them.
In fact, we need government support in all ramifications.
But you are not expecting government to create a bank for Cashew or Cashew
No,
bank?
no. They are
Because
coming up
have
with a cooperative bank.
There's a cooperative bank.
Yes.
There's also a bank of agri.
Yes.
There's an insurance bank for agriculture.
Absolutely.
But in your own perspective,
Yes.
what are the form of support? Apart, many people, when people want to ask government for something, they say fund. Is fund the only challenge that you guys need, or
No,
something
it is
else?
one of the challenge. But number one, like I said before, we need a holistic policy. Number one, because even if you give me fund, and tomorrow the price of petrol is now 80 naira, 800 naira, and next tomorrow is now 1,500, has that helped me? It has not. So we need, and this policy must be holistic, touching on all critical ingredients in the public or in the agricultural sector. When I mean agriculture, number one is transportation. Number one is transportation. Number one is very expensive. It's not good at all. Very, very expensive. And number two, all inputs. I'm talking about cutlasses, rake, chainsaw, wheelbarrow, protective gear, all are expensive. They are not subsidized. You see, so even if you give me fund and all of this are not taken care of, the fund is not going to help. It is not going to be helpful. What about machineries? And so government, that is why they have all the experts that will be speaking effective English and no result.
So now it's not about grammar.
It's not about grammar. I'm saying this because I am involved. I am saying this because I am feeling the pain. I am saying this because year in, year out, by the time you finish everything, you now ask yourself, what is this? And that is why you see most young persons are not interested in agriculture.
But we have to encourage them, because that
you have to encourage them. Those who does not have anybody here, like me, I can't leave it.
Exactly, because you have been deep in it.
Yes,
so
I can't leave it. So I must be an advocate, a voice for the voiceless. I must speak to authority to understand what exactly I'm saying, so that they can be involved. I wish one day I just hear the Minister of Agriculture will say, Cashew Cooperative President, where are you? Let's go to your farm. With all his jeep and with all his security, and let him pass through the bad road, and let's get to the farm.
But I need to ask you, I think it was in July, the All Cashew Farmer Association of Nigeria had their mini summit and mini conferences, and they came up with a communique. Does it mean that the communique didn't get to the authority?
Like I said, I'm not their member, so I don't know where they're communicating.
I'm asking you because I could recall it was in that week that we feature you.
Yeah, I wasn't part of their communique. I'm not their member. I don't know where it stopped and where it is. But I know that Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Agriculture, if they put their eyes together, we can solve the issue with cashew production or cashew processing.
Exactly. From Mr. Yunusa, it is possible to have an environment that provides all necessary inputs for cashew production in Nigeria. And it's also very interesting also that we also have a government that will give all support that cover all ramifications of cashew production in Nigeria. Cashew is one of the leading prospective cash crop in Nigeria.
Fortunately, we didn't talk about the carbon credit.
Maybe it's a developing issue that we need to take up, because I have a question on that for you, Bob. We just have to see what we can do to round up the program at this point in time. But definitely we need to bring you back. The carbon aspect of it is very key. Very, very. We also need to discuss, but definitely we'll bring you back on that. I've been speaking with Mr. Yunusa Gabriel Enameling, who happens to be one of the leading cashew farmers in Nigeria, and also leading a cooperative around cashew in Nigeria. And he has said it all. They need government support. They need subsidy. But you know, subsidy, when Nigerians hear about subsidy, is something else. It's like a free money. But for them, they need subsidy. They need aspect of training and capacity building for cashew farmers, and to also advocate for young Nigerians to be part of the cashew farming in Nigeria. My name is Adefola Olamilekun. This is where we'll drop the curtain of today's show. So till we come your way next time, I want to say thank you for staying to ADBN.